speaking to this driver, asking for his license. So far he hasn't been cooperative. One of the other enforcers will try to block him. They're asking him for his license, but he's refusing to comply. No helmet, no shoes. Good morning everyone, MMDA back on the road. Right now they're in Pasay City. Apparently they're acting on a complaint on this small street. No parking allowed on both sides. That's why some drivers are trying to leave the area before they get a ticket. Not everyone is fast enough. You will see these motorcycles are being issued tickets now for illegal parking. They're also asking the businesses here to remove all the junk that they've left in the road, on the sidewalks. I don't know if they'll comply. This guy just jumped on his motorcycle, tried to drive away. He's not even wearing a crash helmet. It would be cheaper to take a ticket for illegal parking than to drive away without crash helmet. Speaking to this driver, asking for his license. So far he hasn't been cooperative. One of the other enforcers will try to block him. They're asking him for his license, but he's refusing to comply. No helmet, no shoes. I think the wife of the driver just came down and gave his license, so they're going to issue a ticket now. I think originally he was illegally parked, then he tried to drive away according to enforcers. Of course he's not wearing a helmet or any shoes. They're also issuing tickets to all of the motorcyclists parked on what they consider to be a sidewalk. There's not much of a sidewalk because most properties are already extended over it. The red plate is also being issued a ticket for obstructing the road, just like everyone else. If the drivers can show a license, they can drive away with just a ticket. Otherwise, they're impounded. And further along, you actually see a lot of cars being issued tickets. So far, I only saw one from earlier that was able to quickly drive away. When you see a sign like this, you would really wonder, is it about reminding people to keep the barangay clean? Or is it just a way to put an ad on the road? People will continue to buy expensive motorcycles, expensive cars, but parking, not really a concern. This is an 8888 complaint they're acting on. Usually they're only given a certain time period to act on those. There's a lot more vehicles over here. And if you're wondering about signages, yes, no parking both sides. And I can tell you, when you walk down this road, it just smells like pee and poop. Maybe this is what the sidewalk really looked like, and then properties extended over it. I cannot say that's really what happened, but I know in many areas that did happen. Because the barangay don't stop people a lot of the time. They just let them extend over the sidewalks, and then within a few years, they just disappear. I guess most likely that is really what happened, because look, you can see the sidewalk underneath all of this. So extend, and all the pedestrians were just walking the road. Of course, you would just hope that it's not a school child that gets hit by a passing vehicle, because it happens all the time. Kids are hit by vehicles on the road. This rider's wearing slippers. Slippers. And he just hit a pedestrian. When they flagged him down, he looked at me and said, "Why?" I said, "You hit a pedestrian." He said, "They're in the road." I said, "Yeah, there's no sidewalk." Either way, he's driving in slippers, which is also not allowed. This guy is now taking his vehicle inside. That's probably the better option, park it inside so that you won't get ticketed. But I'm guessing that maybe people would block the driveway. It's difficult for the tow trucks to fit in here because it's such a narrow road and all the parked vehicles. So what more for a fire truck? Anyway, I think they're going to pull these out to EDSA and then load them on the tow truck out there instead. This is a great way to make sure your vehicles can't be towed. Just put a big gate around them. Now no one can get to them. After a lot of residents moved their vehicles, at least one tow truck was able to come in. I just don't know what they would do if there was a fire here. I don't know if the fire trucks could really fit. You see some of the vehicles, motorcycles, tricycles, already on the tow truck. Up goes another bike. The steering lock is on, so they have to carry it. This tricycle doesn't have a plate number, so they wrote the ticket out to the chassis number, and then they're pushing it over to the tow truck now. No one actually came out to claim it, to move it, or anything like that. And actually, I noticed the tires are flat on that tricycle also, so maybe it's really not being used. I don't really like zoos on the sidewalk, but this kind of zoo, perfectly fine.